Bakugo Katsuki is the perfect example of an underestimated, complex character. This is best demonstrated in the news conference following the training camp. When asked if Bakugo is susceptible to the villain's evil, Aizawa responds by saying that any personality issues Bakugo may seem to have are just a reflection of his path to ideal strength. In other words, Bakugo only seems like a mean-spirited person because of the way he works to get stronger. Despite this, Bakugo's short-tempered outbursts tend to give the impression that he is a simple-minded character who only cares about fighting people. While this may be true to some extent, this idea also fails to capture Bakugo's whole character. Bakugo, a character who manages to build upon his natural talent, lives his childhood thinking that everything is decided by strength. This idea goes uncontested until he and Deku begin classes at UA. Like all the great characters of My Hero Academia, the true value of Bakugo is best highlighted when shown alongside Deku. But Bakugo is unique in that his story is intimately connected to that of Deku's. As their many fights demonstrate, they are two sides of the same coin. While Deku wants to become a hero by saving others, Bakugo wants to become a hero by training to be the strongest. So the question arises, how could two people possibly look at the same figure and come to such different conclusions? Well, similar to how Deku grows to rely more on his own strength, we see Bakugo eventually learn that there is more to being a hero than becoming the strongest. And this is the story of a young boy who must learn that even the strongest hero has to be able to rely on others. Before I continue, make sure to watch the previous hero highlights on Deku and Todoroki. As in those two, this video only contains anime content and will not contain any spoilers. If you enjoyed this discussion, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more content like this. With that out of the way, let's discuss just how much of a genius Bakugo really is. Now, when I say genius, I don't mean Bakugo is some sort of Einstein like Senku. Genius in this sense should be understood the same way Sasuke is seen as a genius. Bakugo is born with an amazing quirk and begins to understand quirks at a young age. Peers and elders alike have always openly admired Bakugo's quirk. On top of this, Bakugo would always compare his natural talent to those around him, especially Deku. This leads Bakugo to be caught in a self-fulfilling prophecy, where his actions amaze others, they openly admire his abilities, and he takes in the admiration as a reinforcement of his natural talent. Since his peers admire Bakugo for his abilities, this influences Bakugo to value himself and others based on their powers. Now, one would think that tying one's values to strength would lead them to have a pretty warped sense of justice. But consider what it means to highly value power over anything else. For example, take Julius in Black Clover. Julius is a figure with ridiculous magic abilities, who also highly values magic abilities. So you would think that Julius would naturally subscribe to the social hierarchy of tying magic power to social status, right? Obviously, we know Julius's absurd interest in magic leads him to take an unbiased interest in anyone with magic potential. And this is exactly the nature of a true genius. Granted, Bakugo does start out with a might makes right mentality, which I will address shortly, but this doesn't change the fact that Bakugo's value of power allows him to take an unbiased interest in others. Not quite exactly like Julius, who is fascinated by all sorts of abilities, but in a way that allows him to recognize and give respect to the potential of others. For example, the fight between him and Uraraka is crucial to understanding Bakugo's mentality. Before the match begins, Bakugo gives Uraraka the chance to withdraw. He tells her he won't let her off easily if she decides to fight. As the fight goes on, and it appears to be a one-sided battle, everyone in the stands comments on Bakugo's lack of mercy. This is when Aizawa steps in and shares some perspective on why Bakugo is giving it his all. Bakugo is being careful because he's acknowledged the strength of his opponent who has made it this far. It's because he's doing everything he can to win that he can't go easy on her or let his guard down. After the fight, when his classmates wonder why he didn't go easy on such a frail girl, Bakugo asks, what part of her was frail? The important takeaway from this fight is that Bakugo recognized that Uraraka was determined to win and that she had the potential to beat him. Bakugo's decision to fight at full strength is partly a reflection of his unwavering desire to win, but also demonstrates that he always respects the strength of others where it is deserved. While everyone else saw her as a frail girl, Bakugo saw her as a strong opponent, someone who was willing to do everything they could to beat him. This demonstrates the true nature of Bakugo's value of strength. Another excellent example is the flashback Kirishima has before his first use of Unbreakable. Kirishima thinks that he has a mediocre quirk, and so he worries that he won't be able to hold his own as a pro. In response, Bakugo actually compares Kirishima's ability to act as an unwavering tank in the sports festival to All Might's ability to fight till the very end in Kamino, saying that not falling must mean you're damn strong. Just this short exchange shows the extent to which Bakugo values strength. He respects strength so much that he can actually see the potential in others more than that person can see for themselves. This is why Bakugo is such a great character, because his value of strength leads him to have an unbiased interest in the potential of others, as well as respect them when they can show him just how strong they are. Obviously, Bakugo didn't start out always respecting others, but this was because, for the longest time, the only person stronger than him was All Might. As previously mentioned, Bakugo was caught in a self-fulfilling prophecy because of his natural talent and the open admiration from his weaker peers. On top of this, Bakugo would watch All Might and see value in his indisputable strength. This influenced Bakugo to value strength as the ultimate virtue, which is evident in how Bakugo viewed himself as superior to his classmates. Obviously, Bakugo needed to break out of his smaller circle and into new territory before he could ever grow. Like Mihawk said to the naive Zoro, "Frog in the well, know how big the world is." Bakugo gets a small taste of how small his own world is when he is taken over by the slime villain. While embarrassed, this incident doesn't really affect Bakugo until the battle trial. Not only does Bakugo lose to Deku, someone who has always been far weaker than him, but he also recognizes the potential in Todoroki and the other students. He realizes how naive he has been until this point, and begins to take others more seriously. This is the first time Bakugo is truly humbled. Because of this, Bakugo accepts that he is now surrounded by potential rivals, and actively works to stand above all of them. This is why he gives his all against Uraraka, as well as why he is so furious in his fight against Todoroki. Todoroki, who had the best chance of beating Bakugo one-on-one, throws the fight to avoid using his left arm. Since Bakugo has been giving everyone their due respect by fighting with his full strength, he is insulted to be given a victory that he didn't actually earn. While this fury is a great reflection of Bakugo's value for strength, it doesn't completely reveal his character arc. It's important to understand the contrast between Bakugo and Deku after their first fight. Deku, who had always played down his own strengths and admired the abilities of others, realizes that he must begin to see the potential he has for what it is. In a stark contrast, Bakugo knew he was strong, but realizes he needs to accept the strengths of others as well. But this contrast is just the surface. The true contrast between the two doesn't quite reveal itself until after Kamino. In Kamino, Bakugo is placed in another position where he must rely on others to escape villains. First, he is saved by All Might, then he is rescued by Kirishima and his classmates, and finally he must watch All Might fight All for One in a fight that leaves All Might in a shell of his former glory. The world is ecstatic to see All Might come out on top, but Bakugo sees that Deku is actually sad during this moment. This unspoken mystery leads to further tension between the two, until they finally fight again after the provisional license exam. Before the fight, Bakugo states how he cannot understand why Deku, someone who was born quirkless, has managed to beat him again and again. Bakugo later shows the deep impact of this confusion when, in the middle of his fight with Deku, he asks why Deku got stronger and admired by All Might, while he was the one who ended All Might. Here, Bakugo's true feelings finally come out, and we learn that Bakugo has been humbled yet again. This time, unlike before when he knew he had to respect his peers, Bakugo reveals that he just doesn't know what to do anymore. For his whole life, Bakugo has viewed strength as the ultimate virtue. While Deku admired All Might for saving people, Bakugo admired him for always standing victorious over his enemies. And this is the dilemma Bakugo has faced until now. Why, despite both looking up to the same person, has Deku managed to overcome Bakugo? What is it about the way Bakugo views All Might that has failed him and held him back? This is why Bakugo needed to fight Deku. Bakugo's belief was that being the best hero meant being the indisputably strongest person like All Might. Naturally, that means he would want to solve a conflict of ideas by fighting the other person until one stands above the other. And Bakugo gets what he wants. Or does he? Bakugo finally manages to beat Deku, but then All Might appears before either of them have time to think. Again, Bakugo asks All Might why he chose Deku over him. All Might reveals that he chose Deku because he was more heroic than anyone else, and wanted to give him a chance to become a great hero. To address Bakugo's obvious frustration, All Might states that aiming for victory and wanting to save others are both necessary to become a great hero. Again, it's critical to contrast Deku and Bakugo to understand the significance of this scene. Deku always wanted to save people, so he never took issue with the fact that he had to rely on others because of his weakness. As he inherits One for All and attends UA, he realizes that he needs to rely less on others if he ever wants to save people. But in this moment, against the person he views as the incarnation of victory, Deku realizes he can't just make his power his own. Deku learns that getting stronger means aiming to come out on top, setting a goal of victory rather than just progress. In contrast, Bakugo has always aimed for victory, but never allowed himself to accept help from others. If strength is the ultimate virtue, then what would it mean to admit that you need someone else for help? For Bakugo, this always meant failure because you can't be indisputably strongest if you have to ask for help. But this is the ultimate lesson in humility for Bakugo. Looking at Deku, someone who has always used the help of others, Bakugo learns that you can still be strong and ask for help at the same time. He sees that his value of strength isn't wrong, and neither is Deku's desire to save people. There is no single goal to determine the best hero. To become the best hero, there needs to be a balance of value between victory and heroism. Value victory by enhancing your own abilities, but prioritize saving others by working together. As All Might puts it perfectly, save people to win, and win to save people. So this is the trajectory we see for Bakugo. In the extra classes with Todoroki, Bakugo demonstrates his new humility when he says to one of the students, "If you keep looking down on everyone, then you won't notice your own weaknesses." Bakugo clearly demonstrates that he understands the need to work with others. He hasn't abandoned his value of strength. Instead, Bakugo has learned that working with others doesn't mean he is any less strong for doing so. In fact, Bakugo understands that he needs to work with others in order to become a great hero. And so we see the great compromise Bakugo makes as he works to become an even better hero. This is the story of Bakugo Katsuki. This is the story of My Hero Academia's humbled genius. I hope you enjoyed this discussion. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you'd like more content like this, make sure to comment with your thoughts and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching, and I hope to hear from you soon.